Hi, this is Corey, Modbar. I'm here to demonstrate how to program and brew with the Modbar Pour-Over tap. To begin, we'd like to look at the switches and explain that both the buttons on the Modbar Pour-Over tap are going to perform the same function. They both can be programmed to dispense an automatic pour-over cycle or an automatic rinse cycle or just a known amount of water or whatever you want to do with them. So either button can be used in the same fashion. They can also be programmed to provide a long continuous pour where you can use the switches as a manual, just a manual on-off switch with basically no programming involved. The key and the beauty to the Modbar Pour-Over tap and module is that you can program this machine without the use of a scale if you desire. There's a digital volumetric readout on the front of the module that can display accurately how many milliliters of water you've dispensed. And the machine will memorize the volume that you've dispensed and the pauses in between when you've stopped brewing and started again to accurately replicate a brewing cycle that's been performed by hand. So to start, we're going to demonstrate how to program one of the switches. The switch on the right, we will program for a rinse so that I know I'm getting the same amount of water every time I rinse the filter and that we're thoroughly getting all the paper taste out of the filter. We'll program about a 300 milliliter rinse cycle. To do so, prepare the filter and get the wand ready. And to start programming the module, all you have to do is hold the switch for a little over 2 seconds. When you've held the switch for 2 seconds or more and release it, the button flashes at you to indicate that you're in recording mode. It means we're counting volume right now of the water and storing that into the memory, and then when we can pause and the button continues to flash. So right now the module is recording time-based information. And then when we press the button again, we'll resume our rinsing or dispensing. And you can start and stop the cycles as many times as you'd like. So we're just going to make sure we get a nice amount of water through the filter to rinse here. We're showing this with Kalita, and I have a Hario decanter. It doesn't matter what you're using, the machine's designed to be used with whatever your favorite pour-over brewing methods are. It can be used with Chemex, Hario, Kalita Wave, Bone Mac, you name it. Okay, so we can push the button again to stop dispensing, and if we want to store that, what we just performed there, all you do is hold the button until both lights will flash on both switches. That indicates now that you've recorded, you finished recording and stored that to memory. Next time we press the button, the machine will automatically perform the cycle that we just recorded. You can pause or stop, cancel any cycle once it's stored just by pressing the button again. Now let's brew some coffee. I've already prepared some grounds to use. Okay. So now we're going to perform an actual brew cycle. This time we'll just use the left switch so that we can maintain our program for rinsing on the right. Like I said before, both buttons can be used for different programs, for either different brewing methods. You could have Chemex on the right, Hario on the left. It could be rinse on the right, Chemex on the left, or continuous, however you want to program them. They're both independent. So we're going to go ahead and hold the left button down this time to enter programming mode. The button flashes for us there. Now we're going to do the blue. Okay, and now we'll pause. Okay. Now we'll just push the button to reactuate and continue dispensing water. This demonstration, I'm using the standard spray tip that comes with the Modbar Pour-Over unit. This is the straight stream that simulates the kettle. On the back of the module there's a flow control valve that can be used to adjust the flow rate through this tip. Typically the flow is more restricted for this type of brewing method. The spray tip that's also included with the pour-over tap, you have to raise the flow rate to get the same flow characteristics that you desire. So notice the button still flashing to indicate that we're recording the whole time. We can start and stop as many times as we'd like to perform a pour-over. And we're just storing all the volume and all the time-based information as we go along. When you finished with your pour-over, you can just actuate the button instead of holding it, and it will repeat everything that you've done accurately. The volumetric accuracy is within about 2% of the full range, and the time-based accuracy is exact. So you can be ensured that you're going to brew in the same amount of time. Okay, so I finished my my pour. I've dispensed my 500 milliliters for that works for the ratio of coffee that we're brewing with. I'm using a 1:14 ratio. Of course, we're not recommending any particular style or method for use, but leaving that up to you. And no, by no means should this be should this be a how-to video on how to brew pour-over coffee. It's more of just a demonstration of the equipment. So now that we finished our brewing, you see the button still flashing. So if we just hold the button now until both lights flash and switches, now that indicates that the profile has been stored, and it can be used again to repeat the brewing process that we just did automatically. Of course, in this case, you'd still have to have some hands-on time with the machine. In another video, we'll show you how to automate the pour-over process with our different spray heads that can be hands-free for the brewing process. So I wanted to show you one thing, and that is once the program has been stored, when you push the button again, it recalls the program, but note that the light on the button fades in and out instead of flashing. This indicates that you're playing the program back. So whenever the button's fading in and out, you're doing playback. Whenever the button is flashing, you're recording. It's also reading this out on the module when you perform either of those functions. The module will say recording or playback to show you what you're doing.